horse, who's the lead horse of the king's carriage. Icon.
Yes.
What a wonderful name for a horse, and the fact that he's obviously so steady.
Well, if anyone thought the drama between Prince Harry and the royal family had simmered down, think again, because King Charles just made it loud and clear. Harry's not getting back in, not even a toe through the door. And this isn't just a closed door, it's a slammed one. This isn't about denying attendance to some stuffy palace tea party. This is about shutting down a centuries-old chapter of royal tradition and letting Harry know in no uncertain terms his royal currency has expired.
Second, following his divorce from the late Princess Diana in 1996, after 15 years together, going strong.
Let's be real for a second. You don't get to light Buckingham Palace on fire and expect them to roll out the red carpet for dinner, especially when the ashes are still smoldering and the tabloids haven't stopped tearing through the royal family. For Harry, this wasn't just another calendar event. This was a chance to breathe life into something that might have felt like hope. But instead, radio silence. A wall, a brutal, punishing void of response. And what made it even more gut-wrenching was the emotional weight it carried. This wasn't just the firm protecting its spotless brand. This was a father finally snapping. Harry might have done everything by the book, sent a formal request respectfully, quietly, but none of that mattered, not to a king who values actions over after-the-fact apologies, because Charles hasn't forgotten. The bombshell memoir, the interviews, the Netflix circus, they weren't seen as healing, they were taken as stabs to the crown. So when Queen Camilla, yep, the same woman Harry once dragged through the mud, stood tall center stage at the event and Harry was completely MIA, that visual screamed louder than any press statement. It wasn't subtle, it was surgical. The royal insiders saw it, the world saw it. Buckingham Palace has moved on. Now everyone's watching Harry, watching Meghan, watching them watch the monarchy erase them with silence and smiles. He tried, he really did, but the royal institution wasn't having it. And maybe they never will. So what now?
It's not going to work. He's got to recover himself before he can actually get help.
Well, here comes the PR machine. Harry's camp is in full spin mode. Rumors are swirling about a new interview, another sob-filled tell-all, another desperate attempt to reclaim the narrative. But here's the thing. How many rebrands can one man have before the world just tunes out? Insiders say Harry didn't see it coming. He expected a no, sure, but not this kind of void. No call, no message, not even a cold palace-issued email. Just nothing. And that kind of silence? That's deafening. People are starting to get tired. There's only so much sympathy left in the tank when every olive branch is followed by another PR stunt. Like one royal expert said, you can't win back the family while monetizing the fallout. Oof. And this is where Harry might be in for the harshest lesson of all. Hollywood isn't the royal family. You don't get sequels and do-overs in Windsor. When you burn that bridge, it's ash. And no one's handing out directions back. King Charles? He's doubling down. His reign is about control, clarity, and image. Letting Harry back in, even symbolically, would wreck that image. And William? Don't even ask. The brothers are on ice-cold terms, and insiders say the thaw isn't coming. One palace source even muttered, there's too much water under the bridge, and now it's flooded. Harry isn't just shut out of the room, he's not even in the building. He's a prince without a palace, a name without a role. The title is there, but the trust? Completely gone. What comes next? Well, that's on Harry.
And the Windsor, they've now lost more staff members, 6 more staff members.
He's standing at a crossroads. He can keep clawing at a door that's been welded shut, or he can build a new one on his own terms. Because the sympathy act, it's worn thin. The misunderstood prince narrative played out. This foundation event made one thing painfully clear. The royal family has moved on, quietly, elegantly, but permanently. And Harry, he's still stuck in the echo of that door slamming shut. What makes this so painfully symbolic isn't just the latest rejection, it's the years that led to it. The Oprah sit-down, the Netflix drama, the incendiary memoir Spare. Harry cast himself as the brave outsider, the wounded truth-teller, the rebel with receipts. But rebels only matter when there's still something left to rebel against, and right now, now that bridge is gone. Burned, demolished. So what's left? Isolation. That's what. Because even in Montecito, the royal pity card isn't pulling the same weight. America's getting bored. The red carpets have stopped caring. Even Hollywood is cooling off. Invitations are drying up. And that shine the Sussexes once had, it's fading fast. And that global humanitarian vibe Harry and Meghan tried to push, it's falling flat. Archewell, the charity they hyped as a bold new path, it's barely moving. The reports feel bloated. The goals vague. There's movement, yes, but not the kind of impact they promised. And that disappointment, it's everywhere now because they had everything. The platform, the attention, the story. But 4 years in, what's the legacy? Back in London, the palace doesn't even bother pretending. They don't plan with Harry in mind, they plan without him. That says everything. Even Camilla, once hesitant to deal with Harry's drama, now feels secure enough to shrug it off. She has completed her transformation from scandal to queen. Her PR, flawless. Her role, solidified. Meanwhile, Harry is still stuck litigating the past. He keeps dragging out the family trauma like it's a Netflix subscription he refuses to cancel, still trying to demand a place at the table while setting the table on fire. And the world, it stopped watching with sympathy, because at some point you have to evolve. Or people stop caring. King Charles didn't exile Harry, he made a choice. The father became the king and chose the crown, and in that moment, everything changed.
Time as the Prince of Wales.
And just very quickly, is there any sense that William and Harry talk to each other again?
There's no sense at all.
No.
No. At the moment,
Back in Montecito, Harry's isolation has gone from emotional to actual. The American public doesn't care anymore. The sad Prince story, old news. Hollywood, over it. Even Archewell, which once symbolized reinvention, is looking like a fading star. Their work feels empty. Their plans, all sizzle, no steak. And the palace? Surrounded by steady, dignified figures, Princess Anne, William, even Camilla, all embodying the consistency Harry left behind. Charles made a clear statement with that foundation event. These are the people who represent the future, not Harry. Meanwhile, he's stuck playing reruns of his grievances, clinging to a table that has no seat for him anymore. Even the latest stunt, trying to get HRH titles on Archie and Lilibet's passports, screamed desperation. He said it was about giving them a choice, but come on. We all know what it's really about. Power, leverage, brand control. More jam, more tea, more royal adjacent merch launched under a Duchess title in California. Chaos. Meghan's new lifestyle brand may be a mess, but it's still trying to scream royal. And people are noticing. It's feeling hollow, and it's making even their biggest fans ask, what's the end game?
Lilibet, a candid shot at her birthday celebration.
Let's call it what it is. This isn't about Archie or Lilibet choosing royal life one day. This is about Harry and Meghan clinging to the one thing that still gives them leverage, the royal brand. Because even 5,000 miles away, that title still sells. That crest still sparkles. Meghan's chaotic jam and tea line is dressed up like it came straight from Queen Elizabeth's secret pantry. The branding practically screams, "Buy me, I'm regal." And let's not forget the shade they're getting from the media. Even in the US, Puck News shredded the brand as lazy and desperate. Industry insiders spilled that Meghan turned down smart investment offers to chase her Montecito Gwyneth Paltrow fantasy, but it's backfiring. Because the vibe she's giving, it's not relatable Duchess, it's I want the crown without the crown jewels. So now, just as the spotlight dims, the Sussexes start whispering about royal titles for their kids. Not because the children want to serve, because legacy sells. A royal baby is a brand and they know it. But here's the kicker. My argument doesn't work like a Hollywood cameo. You don't hop in and out. It's not an episode of The Crown. There are expectations, codes, loyalty. You can't just plug in your children after you've spent years tearing down the very house you now want them to live in. Prince William, he's not buying any of it. Let's be honest, when he becomes king, does anyone seriously think he's going to hand royal duties to kids raised thousands of miles away, who've grown up watching their parents slam the institution he's set to lead? Katya Adler from Palace Confidential nailed it. What makes you think the future king is going to go, oh sure, your kids want to be royals? No problem. This isn't Succession. This is a centuries-old machine, and Harry and Meghan treated it like a punchline. And don't forget, even Tyler Perry, the man who gave them his house, wouldn't be caught dead at Buckingham Palace. Tyler Perry, the same guy who plays 3 roles in his own family comedy, said, nah, I'm not touching that mess. So Harry, thinking that his children are going to waltz into the royal fold like nothing happened? It's delusional. It's a PR fantasy, and it's exhausting. The royal insiders aren't just annoyed, they're fatigued. The Sussex saga has become a never-ending loop of victimhood, branding, and contradictions.
I wrote, has there ever been a couple more full of contradictions than the Duke of Duchess of Sussex? So determined were Prince Harry and Meghan to protect their privacy during the birth of their firstborn, they even released a statement beforehand insisting the public, who pay for the bulk of their very luxurious...
At the heart of all this lies a simple truth. Harry and Meghan want to be both insiders and outsiders. They want the perks without the responsibilities. They want royal prestige while throwing stones at the palace walls, and it's collapsing around them. Even their allies are confused. Meghan's reportedly fuming that she's still being eclipsed by Kate Middleton, who, by the way, hasn't said a single public word. That's the power of quiet grace. And Harry, he's still deep in the Diana archives, still obsessed with his mother's story. There's talk that he even considered dropping Windsor and becoming Harry Spencer, as if rewriting his name could rewrite his past. It's sad, it's desperate, it's tragic, because what they're doing isn't empowerment, it's performance. Trauma sold as a brand. And now, trying to secure royal roles for their children while actively destroying their own connections? That's the wildest contradiction of all. You don't burn the family mansion to the ground and then reserve a guest room. And let's talk about the optics. If the palace is so racist, so emotionally damaging, and so toxic, why would you want your biracial children working inside of it one day? That's not protective parenting, that's brand manipulation, the very thing Meghan accused them of doing to her.
Strictly come dancing.
And if this is what 2025 looks like already, buckle up, because it's only going to get messier. While Harry hyperventilates in Montecito and Meghan refreshes her PR group chat, across the ocean, Prince William is being praised. Yes, praised. Not just by loyalists, but even by tired A-listers who are sick of getting asked about the Sussexes at every charity gala and red carpet. And Harry, he wasn't just missing, he was erased. Still clinging to past battles, still airing grievances, still somehow not seeing the full picture, still trying to demand a seat at the palace table while holding a torch to the drapes. The solo projects, the rebrand, the summit appearances, the as-ever lifestyle push. She's clearly laying the groundwork to stand apart, not next to Harry, away from him. Because while Meghan moves forward, Harry is stuck staring into the past. Sources say he had cleared his schedule for the foundation event, had his notes ready, even prepped a video tribute. He thought this is it, his chance to show loyalty, humility, growth. Instead, he got nothing. And in that silence, the message echoed louder than words, "You don't matter here anymore." It stings. Of course it does. This is the man who once stood beside William at global events, the same young prince who walked behind Diana's casket carrying the weight of a nation's grief. A decorated veteran, a face of the modern monarchy, and now a man without a kingdom, a prince without a purpose, but maybe, just maybe, this is the clarity he's always needed. Because the illusion is over. The waiting game is done. There is no slow walk back, no secret path. The door isn't cracked open, it's bolted shut. And in that kind of clarity, there's finally room to ask, who is Harry without the crown? That's the story worth telling now. Not the rejection, not the erasure, but the rebirth. Because as long as he clings to the past, to the palace, to the protocols, he's just a man begging to be led in by people who've stopped even looking through the peephole. So maybe it's time he built something new on his own, not next to a throne, not behind a title, just Harry, free from the weight of expectation, free from the burden of the monarchy's perfection. But here's the final irony, the most tragic twist in this royal saga. The world wanted Harry to break free, to pick her people, to put what had hurt on the schedule one sees to see. When it once becomes a Harry to break free, we cheered when he stood up, when he walked away, when he demanded change. But somewhere along the way, he stopped moving forward and just started looking back. Now, the royal family, they've moved on. The palace gates are closed. The firm has spoken. And Harry